A pleasant day to everyone. For our next topic on Arts Grade 10, Quarter 1, Week Number 2, Expressionism, a bold new movement. MELC identifies distinct characteristics of arts from various art movements, identifies representative artists and Filipino counterparts from the various art movements. In the early 1900s, there arose in the Western art world a movement that came to be known as Expressionism. Expressionist artists created works with more emotional force rather than with realistic or natural images. To achieve this, they distorted outlines, applied strong colors, and exaggerated forms. They worked more with their imagination and feelings rather than with what their eyes saw in the physical world. Expressionism artistic style in which the artist seek to depict not objective reality but rather the subjective emotions and responses that objects and events arouse within a person. There are five movements of Expressionism. Among the various styles that arose within Expressionist art movements were Neoprimitivism, Fauvism, Dadaism, Surrealism, and Social Realism. Neoprimitivism. Neoprimitivism is an art style that incorporated elements from the native arts of the South Sea Islanders and the wood carvings of African tribe which suddenly became popular at that time. Among the Western artists who adopted these elements was Amedeo Modigliani, who used the oval faces and elongated shapes of African art in both sculptures and painting. Here are examples of artwork created by Amedeo Modigliani. We have the head and yellow sweater. Fauvism. Fauvism was another style or movement in Expressionism. It was a style that used bold, vibrant colors and visual distortions. Its name was derived from Le Fau, means wild beast, referring to the group of French expressionist painters who painted in this style. Perhaps the most known among them was Henri Matisse. Here are some work of art created by Henri Matisse. We have Woman with Hat and Blue Window. Next, we have Dadaism. Dadaism was a style characterized by dream, fantasies, memory images, and visual tricks and surprises. As in the paintings of Marc Chagall and Giorgio de Chirico. Although the works appeared playful, the movement arose from the pain that a group of European artists felt after suffering brought by the World War II. Wishing to protest against the civilization that had brought on such horrors, these artists rebelled against established norms and authorities and against the traditional styles in art. They choose the child's term for hobby horse or dada to refer to their new non-style. Here are some work from Dadaism. We have Melancholy and Mystery of a Street, created by Giorgio de Chirico, and I and the Village by Marc Chagall. Another expressionism movement, we have Surrealism. It was a style that depicted an illogical, subconscious, dream world beyond the logical, conscious, physical one. Its name came from the term superrealism, with its artworks clearly expressing a departure from reality, as though the artists were dreaming, seeing illusions, or experiencing an altered mental state. Many surrealist works depicted morbid or gloomy subjects, as in those Salvador Dali. Others were quite playful and even humorous, such as those by Paul Klee and Joan Miro. Here are some works from Surrealism movement. We have Persistence of Memory coming from Salvador Dali. We have Diana by Paul Klee and Personages with Star by Joan Miro. Social realism. An expressionist movement known as social realism expressed the artist's role in social reform. Here, artists used their works to protest the injustices, inequalities, immorality, and ugliness of the human condition. At different periods of history, social realists have addressed different issues like war, poverty, corruption, industrial and environmental hazards, and more. Here is one of the work coming from social realism movement, The Miner's Wife by Ben Shahn. Ben Shahn's Miner's Wives, for example, spoke out against the hazardous conditions faced by coal miners after a tragic accident killed 111 workers in Illinois in 1947, leaving their wives and children in mourning. Pablo Picasso also has its work Guernica. It has been recognized as the most monumental and comprehensive statement of social realism against the brutality of war. Filling one wall of the Spanish Pavilion at the 1937 World's Fair in Paris, it was Picasso's outcry against the German air raid of the town of Guernica in his native Spain. And those are the following movement and examples of Expressionism style of art. Hope that you learned something about this new movement. Thank you very much.